Welcome back. We're getting breaking news here on the Rajasthan story. Days after an open rebellion in the Congress's Rajasthan unit, now Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot is arriving in Delhi. He'll be here later tonight. He's expected to meet with interim party president Sonia Gandhi tomorrow after, of course, that rebellion where it was felt that Mr. Gehlot, there is no way that he could have done this or the rebels could have done this without his knowledge or consent. Let me go across to Pallavi Ghosh, who has more details on this. So is this expected to be a peace pipe kind of a meeting where the High Command forgives Mr. Gehlot for any aberrations and Mr. Gehlot agrees to file his nomination to be the next Congress president?
Well, I mean, Mr. Ashok Gehlot did speak to Sonia Gandhi yesterday, Zaka, for a very, very short while where he said that, I'm not showing any disrespect towards the High Command. But it'll be interesting to see whether she actually gets placated. As of now, no appointments have been given to him. He has asked for time. He reaches here late night around 10:30, so he's trying to meet her tomorrow. No nominations are going to be filed tomorrow because the election officer is not going to be available. So 30th is the only window of opportunity available in case he gets the go-ahead from the top High Command to file his nomination papers. But certainly he's going to try and meet and explain to her that how it was not a rebellion. Not that anyone is going to be buying that, Zaka, because in that 9-page report which was submitted, action was recommended against 3 of those MLAs. But that report also mentioned the fact, the sequence of events, how the CLP meeting was called by Ashok Gehlot and how these MLAs are actually supporters of Gehlot, belong to his camp. So it couldn't have happened without the knowledge of the Chief Minister.
All right, we'll leave it at that, Pallavi. Thanks very much for joining us with those details. Let's see if that meeting happens. Now for Brastak Superfast, a horrific accident involving a packed school bus in Maharashtra's Thane district was caught on camera.
A private school bus carrying 18 school children overturned in a residential area early in the morning. The bus driver tried to reverse in front of a building, but he suddenly lost control and the bus overturned. Shocked onlookers, including several parents, ran towards the bus. A few men climbed onto the side and rescued the trapped students through the windows and doors. It was a narrow escape for the school kids. None of them were injured in the accident.
The demolition of a bridge in Uttar Pradesh's Muzaffarnagar took a rather unexpected turn. Here's why.
This bulldozer was stationed on a rickety and narrow bridge over a river. It started to demolish a part of the structure. As the bulldozer was delivering one blow after another, the entire bridge came crashing down. And so did the bulldozer, falling into the river in one big heap. The bulldozer turned turtle. The operator, though, managed to run to safety. He was later rescued from the canal by the police and some locals. The bridge that collapsed was said to be at least 100 years old. The demolition work was being carried out as part of a project to widen the Panipat-Khatima highway in Muzaffarnagar district.
The centre, meanwhile, has cleared a mega redevelopment plan of railway stations at New Delhi, Mumbai and Ahmedabad. 10,000 crores have been cleared for the project, which will see these stations getting swanky exteriors with glass facades and remodeled interiors. Facilities like a food court, a waiting lounge, a play area for children will also be made available. 10 months after General Bipin Rawat was tragically killed in a helicopter crash, India now has a Chief of Defence Staff. The government has announced retired Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan will be taking over as the second CDS of the country. He was the military advisor to the National Security Council Secretariat and a former Eastern Army commander. India has upped its firepower along both the borders with Pakistan as well as China. The army will procure an additional 100 K9 Vajra T guns. The 7th Regiment of the M777 howitzers, it's being raised. Also 10 regiments of indigenous Pinaka weapon systems. The army is also procuring a range of unmanned aerial vehicles. A majority of gun and rocket systems that the army is getting happen to be indigenous. 2 Malayalam actors were groped by a mob in a mall in Kerala's Kozhikode district.
The actors were promoting a film at the Highlight Mall in Kozhikode. They were surrounded by a sea of people, and at least one person in the crowd ended up misbehaving with them. The actor said the mall was overcrowded and security personnel were struggling to manage the rush. The women took to social media to share their traumatic experience. One of the actors said she was completely dumbstruck when she was groped and could not react. After the video went viral, police launched an investigation into the incident. They're still trying to identify and trace the people who heckled the actors.
Congress veteran and Gandhi loyalist Digvijay Singh is entering the party's president race. In fact, the 75-year-old is expected to file his nomination tomorrow. So far, only Shashi Tharoor is the one who's declared his candidature. A non-Gandhi is expected to be elected after more than 20 years. The CBI has got 5-day custody of Vijay Nair, a close associate of Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manisha Sodia. This is in connection with the excise scam. This is the first arrest made in the case. According to the CBI, Nair was uncooperative during the questioning. Apart from Nair, businessman Sameer Mahendru has also been arrested. Meanwhile, Aam Aadmi Party MLA Amanatullah Khan was granted bail in connection with a case of alleged irregularities at the Delhi Waqf Board. Khan was charged with making arbitrary and illegal recruitments, misappropriating funds, and renting out properties belonging to the board. Two pictures are emerging from Russia amid Putin's mobilization call.
On the one hand, reservists go on buses ready to be sent to fight to Ukraine. In Russia, almost every man is considered a reservist until the age of 65. Having previous combat or military service experience is the main criteria in the call-up. On the other hand, thousands of men are flocking to Russia's borders, scrambling to escape the mobilization call. Many are taking the land route because one-way flight tickets out of Russia are all sold out. Last week, Russian President Vladimir Putin addressed the nation and announced a partial mobilization to add at least 300,000 troops to its forces in Ukraine. The announcement triggered protests across the country.
It's not just by road or by flight, but the demand for seats on private jets has also skyrocketed since the mobilization call by Vladimir Putin. Anywhere between $19,000 to $20,000 for a seat on a private plane. Between $77,000 and $130,000 to rent an 8-seater jet. In fact, the cheapest seat on a chartered commercial plane is $2,900. Passengers are heading to Armenia, to Turkey, Azerbaijan. Remember, these are countries that are all allowing Russians visa-free entry. The European Union has said that the leaks in two major gas pipelines from Russia to Europe were caused by sabotage, but it has not directly accused Russia. Explosions near the Nord Stream pipelines resulted in major leaks. In the past, the EU has accused Russia of using the Nord Stream line as a weapon against the West. Typhoon Noro has left a trail of destruction in the northern Philippines.
It's the most powerful typhoon to hit the country this year. It caused widespread flooding and power outages in northern Philippines. Typhoon Noro brought heavy rains and strong winds after making a landfall. Floods submerged residential areas and vast swathes of farmland. People were seen wading through the chest-deep water. More than 17,000 people were moved to emergency shelters from high-risk communities prone to tidal surges, flooding and landslides. 5 rescuers who were scrambling to save villagers trapped in floodwaters were killed. Their boat overturned when it was hit by a collapsed wall, tossing them into the rampaging floodwaters.
Meanwhile, that's not the only hurricane around. Officials have called Hurricane Ian an extremely dangerous one, which is likely to inflict catastrophic winds and storm surges as it nears landfall in Florida. The storm is just shy of Category 5. It's already delivering heavy winds and rain. More than 1.75 million people have been evacuated. Heavy rains and landslides in Arunachal Pradesh have led to some hair-raising moments.
An SUV was swept away by floodwaters and fell down a hill in Arunachal Pradesh's Subhansiri district. A few people were seen standing around the vehicle which was stuck in the floodwaters. The car kept swaying in the floodwaters, moving closer and closer to the edge of the cliff. And then, soon after, the SUV was washed away down the gorge. It's unclear if there were any occupants inside the car. Heavy rains have been wreaking havoc in Arunachal Pradesh, triggering landslides and flooding.